Hello, welcome in everyone. So we've got a lovely familiar face. So we've got the lovely Julie Pollard and Becky Higgins, who are here today with, well, they're part of the Early Hub Engagement. You're an Early Hub Engagement coordinator, and you are from Volunteer Cornwall. So we're here today to talk about the wonderful world of social prescribing. Prescribing, that one. So let's talk about it. So what have you been up to since you were last on Chaos TV?
Well, it's business as usual, really, to be honest. It's very busy. The 62 plus social prescribing link workers are, still very busy with all their caseloads across the whole county. Some are back in the surgeries, but many are still working from home and offering video appointments and telephone appointments and linking people to really brilliant stuff in the community, really, which is what social prescribing is all about, linking with your community.
For those who might not know about what social prescribing is, could you explain a little bit more about it?
Yeah, sure. So it's an alternative to potions and pills, really. It does go back many years in some parts of the country, and it's ensuring that people start to look at their own self-management and asking that vital question, what matters to me, and helping them have that sort of control, really, so that they can decide what they might like to do. So linking them with things in the community. So it can be anything that interests them, really. And that supports their mental health and well-being. It supports social isolation because they're hopefully mixing with more people and they have a purpose and things to get out for. It can also be linking them with other services. So if they need help with debt, finance, housing, sometimes issues, things like that are being
really
sort
powerful
of
stuff
exacerbated really at the moment. So so any one person could really be linked in with lots of different things depending on the individual.
That's great. So has there been a lot on over the Easter holidays? Has there been any special things going on or events?
Well, not necessarily from the point of view that I coordinate the social prescribing. I don't necessarily have I don't necessarily organise all the events or activities for people, but there's lots going on, and Becky can tell you all the stuff that's been going on in a minute for young people, from her role point of view. But thankfully things are starting to open up, things are starting to develop, but there are gaps, and we still need more things for people to access. Yeah.
That's really positive stuff. So Becky, let's move on to you then. What can you tell us a little bit about your job title?
Okay, so my role, I've been in post for nearly 5 years. I'm employed by Volunteer Cornwall as the Early Help Hub Voluntary and Community Sector Engagement Coordinator, short and snappy. So I work for Volunteer Cornwall, but part of the Early Help Children's Services team in the council. So they are the front door to services for children and families from council services. So that could be health visiting, school nursing, early help teams, disabled children's teams, some of their work there. So the requests for help come into there, and they are triaged in that team of contact workers and managers. And I'm part of that, so it will be looking at, well, actually they don't need a youth worker or a family worker or that, but that some sort of support or information is needed. So it's looking at what's in their area in the voluntary and community sector. Would that suit them? Speaking to the parents or the children or the young people to see what they would like. So it's type of social prescribing. It's been going on a lot longer. We don't hold the cases in there. We're a front door to that, to let people know what's there and how they can access it and make it easy to access. So
that's great. So it is kind of similar to social.
It's very similar, yes, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so we have a video and images slideshow. It seems we're going to play it behind the TV as Becky talks. Well, I think it was already happening. So you work with children and families. What sort of groups or events do you recommend?
There are many, many things. So a lot of the work is about support, but at the moment Julie's asked me to get together some information about what activities are happening, what, in the voluntary sector, what activities are happening this Easter holidays. So Action for Children, big charity, they've got a Kerno Connect project that's running. They have youth groups weekly anyway in areas of Cornwall. at the moment they have got Easter activities which are all oversubscribed, so that's finished, but they've also got a youth council. This is something I really wanted to speak about.
Oh, amazing.
So there's lots of youth groups, youth voice and that type of thing throughout the county, which are absolutely brilliant. But they're trying to run a youth council and bring everyone together, representatives from all the different groups. So it's not duplicating what's already being done, but they just want to make it stronger. They want different ethnic groups, all types of people to come together and bring representation. That's on the 25th of this month. There's going to be a consultation online to work out, how to do the main event. And then they'll have an event for young people on the 30th of April. So if there's any young people that want to be involved in that type of thing, that would be absolutely fantastic.
That's amazing.
So it is looking at Action for Children, Kerno Connect. There will be a leaflet up behind me, or you can find it online. Other activities, Young People Cornwall, 11 plus, they work with people across the county. They've got activities at the moment. They've got dance, they've got trampolining, they've got park games, roller discos, many other things happening this Easter. They've been running right the way through Easter, so that's something that young people can go to. There's a minimal cost for things, but Young People Cornwall have their own website, they have their own Facebook page, so have a look at what they're doing. They've got a lot on at the moment. So
that's really great to see in Cornwall, because I do feel like sometimes in Cornwall we do feel a little bit isolated, don't we? It doesn't feel like we get the same opportunities. Like you might go up country or on holiday or something, and then you're like, wow, there is a lot more going on here. But then it's great to see that actually, these things are happening. There are different events and attractions.
And part of my role is finding out what's going on. So if somebody listening to this is an organisation that puts things on for children, or runs a youth group, or runs a 10 and unders groups, is an area I'm looking at, because there seems to be very little for that age group around about in Cornwall. Please get in touch, because that would be really interesting. But there is things going on. Like I say, my role is to be finding out what these things are and letting people know about them, because it could be going on 2 doors down from you, could be going on round the corner or in the next village, so there are things there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's great to see that is, you're pushing that as well, because I definitely think, like, off the top of my head, I probably couldn't name these kind of places, because you don't see them as often, do you? But it's fantastic that they're kind of coming more up and coming.
Yeah, definitely.
So you've sent in some YPC events coming up.
So that's Young People Cornwall.
That's all of those,
That's what's happening at the moment. Yeah, that's all the events they've got on that slide behind. So, they've put it out, so it's really easy for people to see what's going on. Linked in with that is the Active Cornwall information. So they're running the Time to Move project, which is activities from age 5 years upwards.
Oh, great.
If families are on free school meals, then they have these activities free. They can get the link through the website, they can book onto the events. There are 97 different providers throughout the county that are putting on activities. It's schools, skate parks, golf clubs, churches, leisure centres, and other voluntary sector groups are putting on different activities which can be accessed for free for families that are on lower incomes or on free school meals. They can still be accessed if you pay, again, a small amount to join in with these activities. There's a huge amount going on in this next week. So
that's great, isn't it? That's so exciting. Apparently we've got a video about Young People Cornwall's Easter programme that's going to play.
Is there a
for
video?
us. I think so, maybe. I think. If we've just had it. So what are the benefits of kind of attending events such as these?
For children and young people, the holidays can be a really difficult time. They can get really isolated. It makes it a big wrench to go back to school. They can become bored, and that isolation impacts on mental health, emotional health. So if they're still seeing their friends or meeting with new friends over the holidays, 2 weeks is a long time, really.
No, it is,
if you're at home. Sometimes, parents would like a little bit of freedom from their young people. The young people want a bit of freedom from the parents and want something to go and do. So, it's exercise, it's emotional health, it's well-being. Also, meals are provided on these events for people, so they also get fed, which is always a good thing.
Fantastic. Yeah, parents are always looking for that as well.
So with these Time to Move ones with Active Cornwall, that's all part of that.
That's great.
So it's absolutely fantastic. And all through the year, if you've got additional things, some people don't like school, some people do like school, but if there's something else after school, something that's, there are things all around the county which can be accessed. It's just knowing where they are.
Yeah.
I would always recommend to people, look at, it sounds a bit old-fashioned, but it's there. Go to your parish council, ask them what's going on.
Yeah.
Go to any local community halls, ask them what they've got running. You sometimes find there's sort of 10 or other different events running in the local community hall that you haven't seen advertised, but they are there.
It's things you didn't know about, isn't it? There's so much out there, and I think that's what's so positive about it, you know, and people have been stuck in through COVID, and children particularly have suffered, and socialising is so important. So, you know, going out there and trying to get back to normal and finding these things for all ages is just, you know, there's so much to do,
There
really.
really is.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's
I mean, I
good.
remember in school with like half terms always felt like so much longer than what they actually were.
Yeah.
And I think it's like you almost have a different grasp of time at that
Yeah,
age. And actually, like, 2
definitely.
weeks is like the longest time to not see your friends or not see
Yeah,
anyone. You go
the
back into
summer
school and
as
you're
well.
like, what is happening?
Yeah.
What is this?
And it's quite scary for people if they've been isolated, you know, young
is.
people to go back into school where there's all those people and all that stuff going
Yeah.
on. And if you haven't done anything very interesting,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't have much to talk about. with your
Exactly,
friends.
yeah.
And they might have been on holiday or something.
yeah, so there is
Interesting.
that as well. Yeah.
But that's really, really great. So thank you both for kind of taking the time to come in today. Do you think that there's anything else that we need to know about the world of social prescribing?
I think there is a lot of things out there. I mean, I've just said about the fun activities.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other support out there. One I just quickly wanted to mention was Home Start Kerno. They work with families and children under 5. They have walk and talk groups that go in on the county-wide throughout the year. That's carrying on indefinitely. And all these other groups I've spoken about, apart from the Time to Move, they're still putting things on, events and action throughout the whole year that people can go to. So it's, there are places where you can find out about it. Family Information Service. I'm always there, available to help people if there's something they really needed or that sort of support. So to keep engaging in these things and finding out what's going on. But Home Start Kerno, again, they offer a huge amount of support with volunteers and on one-to-one and groups for under 5. So we're covering the whole range group from -9 months right up to 25 with special educational needs.
It's just amazing, isn't it? It's such positive stuff.
So much out there, and don't be afraid to ask for help. So if it's, like you say, young people, then you know, go through the Early Help Hub. Also, there are 3 or 4 social prescribers for children now across the county as well. So that service is available through some of the surgeries, and that's developing. But just talk to a social prescriber, and if there's something they can help you with, they will. But if it's not their remit, they can link with other services. So if an adult comes in and then they're saying what matters to me is this, this and this, but there's also a situation with the young person, then we talk to Becky, and the social prescribers will talk to Becky, and then Becky will refer on to the right area of help, because sometimes it's not knowing where you need to go.
No, really,
and we sometimes hear the negative, oh, there's nothing in Cornwall, there's not a lot out there, but we've got over 3,500 charitable organisations in Cornwall as it is.
That's amazing.
And that was, you know, the last count a little while ago now. So there are things out there, but sometimes it's just making that step to ask the person for the first step for that bit of help.
So would you call a number, or do you have to just go through a surgery and just say, you know, I want to access this?
Yeah, well, certainly for the social prescribers, the majority are based, as I say, or linked to a surgery. So it's best to go through the surgery.
Okay.
Some of the new roles in my team that I mentioned last time I was here, they're going to be based in the community, but again, you know, they'll have individual numbers. If you can't get hold of your surgery for the contact for your social prescriber, then you can always contact me at Volunteer Cornwall, and Becky will tell you about contacting the Early Help Hub.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
so the Early Help Hub are always there for advice and guidance. There's contact workers there as part of the team for the services there. Again, contact Volunteer Cornwall if you want to have information and advice from me around specific events and things like that. I am only one person and I'm county-wide, so it makes it a little bit trickier. Social prescribers will contact me for information. If somebody wanted to phone and speak, Volunteer Cornwall could handle my number. But something really important, I would say, to children and adults, if there are any issues, any concerns, anything like that, go in at an early stage. Don't wait till it's a crisis, because that's
Yeah.
what happens once it's a crisis. It's up here.
Yeah.
If you go in at an early stage, it prevents you and the people around you from, you know, any
So true.
to make it for it getting worse. So
It's just fantastic. Well, it's been fantastic to have you in today, and again, thank you so much for coming
really
in.
good to meet you.
Yeah, amazing
Yeah,
to meet you
thank
both
you.
too.